Hello everyone, it's a beautiful Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here. Hi ladies.
Hello.
Looking nice and bright today. YK into building.
Yo.
I like this color, YK. You look so lovely today.
Thank you. I'm going for the schools debate today.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The celebration schools debate, yeah. But I got a phone call yesterday from someone, I don't know where he got my number. And he was complaining, he used to be a Muslim. But now he's not really religious.
Okay.
But his wife is still a Muslim. His kids are in a Christian school. But the teachers are always corrupting their brains, he says, by telling them that Islam is bad. And if they won't go to Jesus, they will, they're just drumming the religion. So he was calling me that, is it right to teach false religion in schools? That because he is thinking now, because he's paid his school fees, he's not owing any money, that he wants to remove his children.
I think it's a topic worth talking about because I did go to a school orientation, or is it induction they have, and it was very Christian. There was praise and worship. We pray. Those are nice, but there were Muslim parents also there with their hijab, and they were just wondering, okay, so this is where my children are. So that tolerance is something we need to talk about. I think it's a worthy topic to talk about.
Yes, and I would even like the person, if I can get his number again, to come and even talk about his experience, because he was really pained.
Yeah.
He was,
it happened to Nima.
I must talk about it on the show.
And Nima had to change her children's school, her daughter's school, because her daughter was singing praise and worship, and she felt that as much as she liked the academical part of that school, they were distracting the child from the Muslim upbringing she wanted her daughter to have. So she took her daughter to a Muslim school.
Just about religion. School is for education, not religious studies. If you want to do religious studies, go to a religious school. And then face the religion.
That was the point I was trying to make. Some schools are actually Christian schools.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you need to be sure of the kind of school, first of all, that the child is in. You know whether it's a Christian school or it's a neutral school. If it's a neutral school, then it's a problem. Because even while I was growing up in the North, would always have a Christian come out, say the prayer, and a Muslim come out to say the prayer. So, I mean, there was a lot of tolerance, and, everybody understood that, okay, I'm a Christian, you're a Muslim, but we can still be friends.
Exactly.
Those are the things that, we're losing. And that's why a lot of people take advantage.
Today is World Teachers
Day. We'll definitely talk about it.
It has to be a hot topic.
One of these days we'll talk about it.
It has to be a hot topic.
Our news mentioned today is World Teachers Day.
Yay!
And we have Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State in the building. She was a former teacher. And she's also Commissioner of Education, so she's apt for this show. So she's going to be our guest in a few minutes. But
I just wanted to quickly say that I had never really thought about it until Tokwe mentioned it, that ideally you're demanded to celebrate your teachers. So today I ordered a cake.
Aww.
Yes, and I sent it. I'm sure it will be delivered very soon to the school, and just to appreciate the teachers, because usually I will not do anything. You know why I don't do anything? Because I feel like, in this part of the world, when you do something like you're appreciating, it's like the person wants something from you, or the person will now take favors with your child. So I usually don't do that.
Yeah.
But, I felt led, to do that
That's
today.
So nice. I wish I was led.
Just to appreciate.
The session could not lead me. But we thank God. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, look at the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. It's all about teachers today, so we're celebrating, all right? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Yes, starting with the Punch. Tinubu Oyegu feud resurfaces after the Edo poll. Only INEC can make a U-turn on Ondo primary, says APC chair. Youths stage anti-Tinubu protest at party's national secretariat. Picture here of ongoing demolition at Abulu Egba for the expansion of the road in Lagos. ECOWAS court directs release of Dasuki and fines federal government 15 million naira. FG plans 6.8 trillion naira budget for 2017. Court orders ex-governor Goje's arrest for alleged 25 billion naira fraud. Gunmen ignore police presence, abducts former minister and husband in Kaduna. Federal government puts up 7 billion naira presidential jets for sale.
Finally.
Nurse remanded in custody for allegedly raping a patient. An asset declaration. CCT convicts Orubebe. I will not take it. Ex-minister loses Abuja property. So
now we know why he was saying, Jega, go to your office. Go on, that's not the query.
There are so many stories.
So like, the human angle, though.
The human
nurse.
angle, yes, the nurse, a man, his name was Benga. I can't remember his surname.
Yeah.
Luke Benga. Anyway, he convinced the girl, he took medicine to the girl. She had toothache to treat her.
That was an issue. How would he go take medicine to the girl's house? That's an issue for me. Who does that?
The
nurse comes to the house to give you medicine for your toothache.
And
And
then,
then
19-year-old girl. Then the drugs that he gave her made her sleep.
Yeah.
And when she woke up, she was bleeding and he had disappeared. So the police have arrested him. He's been remanded in custody. They've given him 200,000 naira bail, but he's been remanded until he can meet
the demand.
But the Orubebe story, I think we should touch on it a bit. His defense, he is saying, no, they say he didn't declare this Abuja property, so they've seized it. But he is saying, no, that he didn't declare it because
he had sold it.
He had sold it just before the 2011 declaration. He had sold it. So the court said, but they cannot see
the documentation. He said, but is it his fault that the person did not change, what's it called, did not regularize the documentation? You know.
Anyway, this demolition continues. We're trying to get the somebody from the Ministry of Environment to come and explain to us.
You experienced the traffic. The road is the road is really, really bad. I've been there. You have to take a detour, and so the construction work is ongoing. So
I heard that this morning one of the cameramen was telling me that the demolition is supposed to, the place is supposed to be a BRT bus station is supposed to be built there.
Okay.
So
let's see how it goes.
All those illegal structures, Mariah, we cannot really.
As I said, we'll talk about it once we get somebody from the Ministry of Environment.
Really.
The Nation. Buhari rejects 1.7 trillion naira ransom for Chibok girls. Picture here of pro-Olusegun Abraham supporters in Akure. APC, Akeredolu Abraham supporters clash in Akure. How Ondo APC primary was rigged by Akinyele Lure. 350-bed Hilton, Lagos Airport on the way. And CCT convicts Orubebe for false asset declaration. So according to this new book that was launched, it obviously reveals quite a bit about our president. One of which was the fact that he rejected 1.7 trillion as ransom, said that they were demanding that ransom to get the Chibok girls. And there was another thing that, there were two actually points that was revealed in this article. I can't remember the other one. But pretty much the book is going to do a lot of revelation. Oh yeah, he knew about the coup d'etat in 1985. That's our president knew about it, but he didn't do anything about it because he didn't want to have the army chiefs then killed. He did nothing to foil it, to stop it, because he didn't want to have those.
He allowed it.
He allowed it to go ahead because he didn't want them to be killed at the time. Moving on to Daily Sun. Oyegun dares Tinubu, you can't sack me on pages of newspaper, declares APC chair. Picture here of the anti-Tinubu protest in Abuja. Buhari proposes 6.8 trillion in the 2017 budget. Enugu Onitsha Road, Senate seeks government intervention. Federal government puts 2 presidential jets up for sale in dollars. Nigeria gets out of recession next year, says IMF. And bloody day in Ondo as APC supporters clash.
I am happy about the sale of 2 presidential jets.
Finally.
Out of 11, they have decided to sell.
We're getting there.
So that's why we're going to keep talking and talking and talking. I don't think the president needs more than 2 private
let's not
jets.
decide how many he needs.
No, I'm just saying. No, because the truth is that when we're saying that recession, how to make money, blah, 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 that is one immediate, but I hope that they'll be able to sell it at a good price.
I want to talk about
and they'll be able to channel the income. towards development.
clash in Ondo State. You want to talk about the budget?
Let's talk about
I
the
want
budget.
to talk about the budget because you see, as it is, the country right now, we have not been able to fund this year's budget. We're already in October and they are still searching for funds to finance this year's budget. I want to expect that the budget, the Ministry of Budget and Planning should plan as they put the budget together how they would fund next year's budget, even as it is already in deficit.
Certainly. But the good news from IMF that, because IMF released the projection for several countries 2017, and one of which was Nigeria should get out of recession, which is, I'm hoping that that's true. And there were, interestingly, countries like Cote d'Ivoire, I think a few others said they will have a robust economy. They actually, so compared to us.
I'm wondering what parameters
IMF
they use for
But
Nigeria.
IMF had told us to borrow. Remember, we did not borrow.
Be careful about IMF.
Ondo crisis, Weki.
Let's move on
the
to
Ondo
Vanguard.
crisis, yes. Please.
Ondo crisis.
Yes.
What's happening in Ondo?
Abraham's supporters
And
were protesting. They took to the streets, and then they went to the secretariat to protest. And they were now, they said their guy won, Abraham won the election. Then some people, supposedly Akeredolu's people, now attacked them. And they beat...
Nonsense.
Now, I must always, because whenever there's election, there's always this kind of crisis. People should realize that the political candidate you're supporting themselves wouldn't be injured in any way. You fight yourself, you lose your lives, you lose limbs in fighting for a political interest that at the end of the day would make up while you are in the hospital.
Exactly.
Please.
Let's be legs.
Yes.
So Abraham now addressed his supporters saying he was going to go through the right channels to get his mandate, that everybody knows that he won.
Anyway,
I really don't know the story. I would really
well,
love to know
let's not
the
go into
story.
it, because our own focus are the new young people who Peter Obi was talking to last weekend. So those, that group of young people that to go and fight, those ones, they are there. We can't do anything about those ones. But there are new educated people who went to school, who have decided that Nigeria belongs to them. Those young people are the ones we need to talk to, not those ones. Let them go and fight each other. That's their business.
But even on the educated ones, are you discarding a person because he's not educated?
I'm not discarding. I'm saying that they're
trying to convince them not to fight.
I'm saying that certain people are supporters and they will continue to fight for these candidates,
which is true,
whether we like it or not.
Well,
so what's that? Instead of us to focus so much on them, let's focus on new. They're new voters. They're new young people that were 18 years old in 2000, and they're going to be eligible to vote in 2019. Those are the ones they're talking to right now.
But Mariah, what she's even saying, you know that even in that chunk of people, there are still people that are on the fence.
True.
That they will not fight.
Sway.
That we can sway towards us. So it's not just totally
exactly.
Because,
Okay. Don't discard somebody because he's not educated.
Point taken. Good point. Moving on to Vanguard. Tinubu can't sack me on pages of newspapers. Odige Oyegu says that. Buhari pegs 2017 budget at 6.8 trillion. $2.1 billion arms probe. ECOWAS court orders federal government to release Dasuki.
ECOWAS.
I won't take that story because ECOWAS community have said that the government should release him and then they should pay a 15 million
fine,
naira fine for him. Now, he was detained in December last year. And 3 courts have released him on bail, but he wasn't released, and he's still being detained till now. So the ECOWAS community is speaking up for him, saying that you shouldn't hold him, it's contravening his human rights, and release him and also pay him compensation for holding him without illegally, whichever way. So.
But they haven't. He hasn't been charged to court.
I think he's been charged to
No,
court.
he hasn't.
He has not been charged to court. They just held him.
Oh, Orubebe?
No.
What are we talking about?
Dasuki.
No. He's still in custody.
Because you see, no matter how they want to fight the corruption, you're supposed to follow due process.
Exactly.
If the person, you cannot detain someone beyond 48 hours.
Yes.
So right now, they have something to hold the federal government against.
Yes, it's against his human rights.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, as we said, we have Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, here with us. She's going to be joining us all through, from now on, all the way to the end. And we're celebrating teachers today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today, teachers in Nigeria join counterparts across the world to mark this year's World Teachers Day. And it's a day set aside to global celebration of quality teachers and quality education. To commemorate, we celebrate our teachers and commend their dedication, effort, and sacrifice to teaching. Joining us, as we said, is a special guest. She's the Commissioner for Education, Lagos State Deputy Governor, and our Excellency, Dr. Honorable, which you prefer, Honorable for Doctor or Doctor for Honorable? Honorable Dr. Idayat Adegbile. Welcome to the show, man.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It's so good to have you on because you are obviously a teacher for excellence. You've been, your entire career has been about around education. When we're reading your profile, I was like, wow, she's embodiment of education and teaching. So today we're celebrating Teachers Day and we are so happy to have you here on the set. Before I ask you my first question, let me invite our viewers so they can call you up. You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Now, for the hot topics, madam, we're going to just reminisce on life as a teacher. How was it as a young teacher back then? What got you into teaching? And what your passion for that educational sector. So we're going to talk about that. Then later on, we'll now see what the Lagos State government is doing. But for now, we want to just celebrate and reminisce on our teachers. And also the ladies too, if you have any stories on growing up, your teachers, let's just celebrate generally teachers. So Ma, let's just start with you. Any memories about teaching, growing up, or how did you get into the whole teaching?
Well, thank you for having me. I must say, being a teacher for me isn't by accident. I actually wanted from the beginning. I guess some of my schoolmates that are watching can bear me witness. Even when we're in school and teachers are asking us in those days, what would you like to do? For me, it is not to be a doctor. For me, it is not to be any other thing other than a teacher. And early in life, I actually set out to go to the Teachers College. I sat for the exam and I was selected as part of those that are to resume. But just then, the federal government came up with a policy. They're not going to have 5 years course teacher education any longer. And as such, I had to go back to my secondary school. And after secondary school, I actually filled my JAMB form that I wanted to study education.
Wow.
And so I read Islamic Studies Education in Lagos State, at Lagos State University. And well, after that, I went back to the classroom and I read curriculum studies for my master's and also curriculum instruction and development for my PhD.
Wow.
And so all my life it has always been about education. During my service year, I served in one of the schools, and again after that, immediately I came back, I got employed. Then at the Lagos State College of Education, Norfolija, Ekpe, and I was there for about 5 years. Thereafter, after that, I got an appointment from the then governor, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to be part of the board member of the Lagos State Teaching Service Commission. Okay. And from Teaching Service Commission, I left the college on leave of absence and I came back. And ever since have been in the education industry. And I must say, it's been joy, and it's been joy, and I feel fulfilled.
Wow.
Well,
I'm happy that you feel fulfilled, because I was going to throw it to the ladies also, because that fulfillment, a lot of people don't see that a lot. A lot of teachers today don't have that inherent desire for that love of teaching is almost not there. They're just there through because of obligation. And when we're growing up, I mean, I know I had committed teachers, and that was one of the issues. That was one of the issues we're having today. Toko, you wanted to jump in and say a few things.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that how you're a passionate person about education. How do you feel seeing that we don't have new set of teachers who would really want to go and teach? You went to study teaching. We have people that by chance became teachers, not that they really desire and they're passionate about going to educate the minds of young people. How do you feel about that, and how are you planning to correct it by bringing people that are passionate about teaching?
I must tell you that a lot of things account for this. The fact that there is unemployment in the country. You find some people who are not really interested in coming. But one thing we're doing right now in Lagos is the fact that we are going to come into the Ministry of Education. You must have studied education, either at the College of Education level or the NCE level, or even a degree level. This is because we believe that even though we know that a lot might have gone wrong in the process of even getting admission, but we want to agree that for you to have gone through the training,
Yes, you have an interest.
you must have developed the interest. And if you don't even if you have not developed the interest, you have the technical know-how of how to impact knowledge, and not just somebody who has not gone through any form of training, somebody who have not been exposed to anything like that, and who has his high and passion elsewhere, being given the opportunity to come to the classroom. For us, we know by doing this, at least we can at least curb the entrance of people who does not have passion for this. Along the line, you see some of them after getting the employment, 4 months, 6 months thereafter, they tell you, I've been given, I've gotten another jobs elsewhere. Those ones will exist naturally. But those who will stay with us, we will ensure that through training and retraining, we're able to bring them on track.
Okay. How is the salary of teachers in Lagos State? I know that the education of the schools in Lagos State has improved, right? Because we have this celebration schools debate, and for 2 years running, Lagos State schools have won. We have won today, actually. And, well, maybe they will win again. But I want to ask how the teachers are faring. I know the students are faring well because they're doing well. But the teachers, how is their salary?
Well, I must say in Lagos State today, we are not owing any teacher or any public servant in Lagos State. That I'm saying with all sense of responsibility. Again, as to how are they faring in terms of welfare, things that we're supposed to do to them, we are not where we should be, because we must be honest with ourselves. Yes. We are not where we should be. But what is very instructive is the fact that this administration is very, very committed to ensuring that we provide the best that we can for them in the face of given the resources that we have. Recently, His Excellency Governor, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, approved that, that whatever, we construct new modern teachers' furniture for us. This should be something that should have ordinarily. That shouldn't be something.
Should have been there before.
It should have been there before, but we are doing it because, again, the challenge that we have in the state is that of population. Today in schools we have about 24,000 teachers. All of these people have to be paid and they have to be provided for. So in our stride, we appreciate them. We know they are going through a lot just to educate our children. But they must know that in this administration, they have a committed partner who will try to give the best that we can, given the resources available to us.
Can I clap for you?
For me, growing up, I think I loved that experience of coming back from school, because we used to have neighbors that couldn't go to school. They used to live in this, compound, the Muslims, that don't believe that they should educate the girl child. So I would come back from school, take off my uniform. My mother's rule was that anybody that enters the house should bathe the children. And make sure that don't bring dirty, because they are usually very dirty. So I bake them and I bring them with my blackboard and white chalk. I teach them what I have learned. And also I had the experience to teach also when I just finished NYSC. And but what I see today, a lot of people that are unable to pass their JAM, they're unable to get all complete credits in WAEC or GC or whatever school certificate exam they're supposed to write. They now end up in the colleges of education. And, that alone is churning out teachers that are half baked. Most of them are not able to get jobs. They now say, okay, let me just look for whatever it is, and they see teaching is the only way out, because the cutoff marks for people to come into colleges of education, they are very low, you know. So people that are unable to get good grades are the ones, and I think that for me is the foundation of the problem we have in the educational sector today. You know,
what do you think?
What can we do about that?
Or do you agree with that?
Well, as a teacher, we cannot run away from the analysis that she has painted now. I mean, for what she has said. And I know it's not a function of the state government. Definitely. It is really at the federal level that we should all sit down and look at this. But one thing that I'm very sure is that in Lagos State, we have ensured that at least for the secondary school level, we don't employ anybody. We don't have a degree to teach in our secondary school. NCE is the minimum standard prescribed by the NCCA for students, for teachers to come in to the primary school. For now, we just have to run with that proclamation or that directive. But as we employ them, in fact, the last 1,300 that was employed during this administration, before they even get into the school, we actually took them out to train them, to retrain them, expose them to one form of training. So in the process, those who we realize could not cope, just have to exit. Because we want the best.
We have to go on a quick break because I can also vouch for what Lagos State is doing, because I know I have someone in my house who came from Calabar, and she was supposed to go to school, and it's just so tough to get her. People just take her to Ogun State. It's easier to get in because she didn't have any documentation. So when we come back from the break, I want us to talk about what have you put in place, especially for young people to get into school, because somehow people are saying it's getting difficult to get into a Lagos State school these days. So that bottleneck, I want you to help us clarify and make us understand it better.
And how can I become a teacher?
All right, let us take a break. When we come back, our guest is still with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. As we said, it's Teachers' Day. It's World Teachers' Day. So it's all about you teachers. If you're a teacher, if you have a teacher that you like, call us. Let's celebrate a teacher. Today I want to celebrate growing up. I think by two people I want to celebrate. Mrs. Olayemi, who was my principal back in Corona. That woman, I think, made me a woman. I was a tomboy for a long time, and she helped us to walk properly. She said, comport yourself. You're a lady, chest up, walk properly. So I always remember that. I always found it. I can never forget comport yourself. That was the first word first I heard that word, comport yourself. Walking properly. It doesn't like you slouching while walking through the hallways. You have to pick up your feet, and walk properly. So I always remember that. Then Mr. Jimuda, he was our cane master. He was not allowed to cane us. And people used to scare of that Mr. Jimuda. He would carry that. He was a business teacher. He would carry the cane. He's the only one. So those are the two teachers I want to celebrate, because they were part of those that shaped me. Mr. Salako. There are lots of them like that. So who wants to celebrate? We don't want to talk about any hard talk here.
I want to celebrate my teacher.
I can't remember any of my teachers in primary school, but secondary school, I remember our principal, Mrs. Banjoko. She was so strict. When she catches you like this, she will cane your leg like this. You are doing anything bad. But if you are good, she would call educated illiterates. And her English was perfect. Then I had Miss Chima. Ransom Kuti, come here. Miss Chima, she was so sweet. I had many Mrs. Ayegbusi, Mrs. Odewade.
All right. I'd like you to. Do you remember anybody, or you like to celebrate your own teachers?
Honestly, I would like to salute the steadfastness, the faithfulness, the dedication, the commitment, the passion of the entire teachers in Nigeria and Lagos in particular.
Let's start with them.
Our teachers have been wonderful.
Yeah.
They've been, working under the condition that they've been going through with the number of students they have to cope with, they have to deal with, and they're doing excellently well. I want to thank you. I want to salute you. I want to appreciate you. And thank you most sincerely for those, for being a counselor, for being a model to our children, and for grooming them to become better adults. I want to use this occasion of the Teachers' Day to thank you for the good job that you're doing.
Fantastic. Well done. Well done. I think I have Boss Ede from Yanokwaja. Boss Ede, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. And good morning, Your Excellency.
Good morning.
My name is Boss Ede Oshoku, yes. I want to appreciate teachers, and especially I want to appreciate my secondary school English teacher. She's now Professor Mrs. Elizabeth Ogunsanya. She taught me English. She taught us to know, to understand, not just reading. She taught us good English. And I'm using today to appreciate her and all other teachers too.
Fantastic.
Well done, teachers.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
this is why I wanted to jump in.
I wanted to celebrate my English teacher as well. I don't know why they're all English. She used to have like YK's long hair. She would do an up hairdo, and she would walk, she's the one that when you're walking, she doesn't want to hear that sound of your shoes, gliding to the ground. And because of that, do you know that singular act? If I hear someone walking and it's and dragging their feet, she shaped us into character. She taught us how to be, ladies. I also want to celebrate my son's teachers. They are amazing. That's why I took my time to send them a cake today to celebrate them.
What are you doing for the teachers today? And as Lagos State government, is there anything particular? I know Ogun State, Oyo State that said that, hanging that you celebrate. I think either Oyo State or Ogun State said no work-free day for the teachers. I'm not sure which of the states. But what's Lagos State doing for the teachers today?
Well, for us, we are meeting our teachers today. As I leave the studio, I joined them at the arcade at off Agidimbi Road in Ikeja, where we are going to have the whole of the day to ourselves. Wow. It's not, we don't have work for day in Lagos, but we know that we must celebrate our teachers. We have sent one of the most beautiful cake to them today. We've equally sent them a wonderful message expressing how I feel, and all of us in the sector, how we appreciate them. And all of us today, we're going there to be with them until the end of the program.
Fantastic.
I want to celebrate my maths teacher, because as much as I was an Olodo in maths, she was always nice to me. She made me a maid of honor, and still I never passed for 1 second.
Let me take Diola. Diola, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still there.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Yes. Good morning, ma. The Deputy Governor. Good morning, ma.
Good morning, Diola.
Ma, of the issue of now WAEC is owing some students. So Lagos State is owing WAEC money, and I'm not using all the results of WAEC.
Is that true? Lagos State owing WAEC money? Really?
That's not true. Diola, please cross-check again. I know we've paid them. We are not owing them one single penny. And I say that authoritatively.
Because it has money. See, do you know what our GDP is every month? Please.
And from the results that we have, this one of the best results that we have, we're still climbing. We are not yet where we should be. But I must say, our students have really did us proud this last 2016.
I just want to buttress what you're saying, because Lagos State won the Federation School Debates. Lagos State won 2 years running, back to back. And, I remember one of them.
They were against the girls, all-girls school also.
Yeah, they were against
private
school and King's College and schools like that, and they won. And I remember when he finished, he said, "I have spoken." The whole place erupted. He spoke authority. It was a wonderful thing.
That's why you have a lot. Today, as I said, we have almost about 3,000 requests of transfer to come into the public school. And like you said earlier, that it's a bit difficult for us.
I was going to go back to that, ma, because because I remember very clearly this thing happened. Oh, Tokwe, Abinu, please go ahead. Let me let Tokwe go ahead. You've been waiting for a while. Let me let you go ahead.
Okay, so I think that when we talk about teachers over and over again, we've been celebrating the teachers in schools. without noticing the vocational training teachers. I teach vocational training. I teach makeup, and I'm passionate about teaching, and I know a lot of people teaching other areas of skills, teaching hairdressing, teaching vulganizing, whatever, and they are passionate. And I think they are also teachers and they should be celebrated.
As far as you impact knowledge, it doesn't matter in what area, doesn't matter in what, I mean, even not under an academic setting or whatever.
Like me.
As long as you, yes, as long as you impact knowledge into somebody, you're a teacher as far as we are. I mean, that's the broad definition. And
Let me take this
you are
call.
also being celebrated.
Gabriel, are you still there?
Yeah, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, calling. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Morayo, Auntie Annie, Auntie Tope, Auntie Gua, for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Yeah, Her Excellency, Ma, thank you for all your efforts on education.
Thank you so much.
So I want to thank my principal of my school. I actually went to a public school. Yeah, he really tried. Like, he was actually him that made my foundation very sound. Yeah, so I thank him, and kudos to the public school education in Nigeria, especially Lagos. It is actually taking a very good toll on students. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Going back to the question I asked earlier concerning how young people can enter, I had my help who came from Calabar, and I wanted to take her to the closest school, which was a local government school near us here. And of course, I got there then. The teacher was like, oh, don't worry, we'll get her in. But eventually, when I spoke to the principal, she said there's nothing, her hands are tied. There's no paperwork of where she's coming from, her that she passed documentation, her transcripts. There's nothing she can do. I have to go back to the commissioner. And I went there, thinking that I can use a connection, call somebody, uncle. Of course, I saw all the uncles and aunties. And then they said, Morel, this is the process. All of every single table I went to told me this is the process. She must do the exam, do this. And I mean, I was like, oh my, I was impressed that nobody was doing any side job. So well done to Lagos State government, because now, in fact, now I'm trying to get her to go to Ogun State, because they said it's easier there.
Are you saying that my own state, they are not?
That's your business.
Take your time.
Somebody told me to take her to Agbara, that I'll find a school there that I can squeeze her in somewhere. But go ahead.
Can I take some tweets?
I just wanted to say something, Mike, before you take some tweets. People always say something that, I mean, not people, my husband always says that if you know as a teacher that, for instance, if you had former President Goodluck Jonathan in your class, and you knew that he was going to be, I mean, if you had a premonition that he was going to be president, of course, your teaching skills, your teaching methods would have been different.
Yes.
But I understand that right now, teachers, you know, they are not motivated because they see that when a fresh graduate leaves the university, you get into a white-collar job, and I mean, the pay is fantastic. You're given a brand new car, you know, so many perks that comes with, you know, having a white-collar job. Do you think we can push the teaching sector to that level so as to attract the more quality graduates, you know, that can do the job not for the money, but truly for impact, at the same time make money?
Let me tell you that majority of the people that are in teaching or that are teachers, it's not about the money.
True.
It's about the passion that they have for the job. That's one. Two, it's about what they think, I mean, the joy they derive from bringing about a desirable change in those children.
Yeah.
That is why they are in teaching. Again, I'm not running away from the fact that yes, a lot can be done to improve their lot. But they are not motivated in Lagos, where we are trying our best to ensure that we give them the best. Again, if it's a thing that we can sit at the national level and discuss, yes, and prompt it and encourage, but I must tell you, all of this has to go through a process. The entire public service in Lagos, what Lagos State has done is to ensure that not any of the civil servants, if you're on level 15, you earn the same amount of money with a teacher who is on level 15. That's a structure. That's a structure. So if you choose to be in the public sector, just have to bear with the structure of the payments. And if you are going to the private sector, where you have the oil companies and then their own salary package is different, or structure is different from what we pay in the public sector. But as long as in the public sector, we don't in any way reduce what we pay to our teachers. Than any other.
All right,
person in the
let's
public
take
service.
a quick break. When we come back, we still have Her Excellency here with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll take some tweets, yeah. Welcome back. Yes, we have some interesting conversations, but before you go into that, I know YK
yes, I want to
has
take
lots of
tweets
tweets
because a lot of people want to celebrate their teachers. So, and I think it's important. AETZ, Mr. Tayo says, I want to celebrate my maths and physics teacher, Mr. Ogunbumi and Mr. Ofia. They take both late, may their souls rest in peace. Mofakbe, I'd like to celebrate my mathematics teacher, Mr. Maku, Mr. Akindele Uyimbo. God bless them all. Up jogs. Ambition, I celebrate my year tutor in my high school. Days late, Mr. Olowu, my HOD, Mrs. Ato Yebi, and my brother, Babatunde Yomi.
Don Splash says, teaching requires great sacrifice and passion. How can you give that if you are not called and love what you do? Kingsley Etim says, I celebrate my teachers in primary school who taught us as if we were their own kids. And Mrs. Oluwatoyin Adufekun.
Let me take this call from Laja Martins. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I greet you all, especially our special guest, the Deputy Governor.
Thank you,
my question is this. I want to find out why there is a dearth of science teachers. The development of a nation depends solely, mostly on technology.
Sure.
Most of our children do not want to go into sciences. When you hear this admin. When you hear this admin. It's becoming very worrisome. What are you doing? We don't have good science teachers.
All right.
What are we doing?
Good question.
Encourage people, science teachers, mathematics, physics, chemistry.
I studied
physics. The nation.
Are you teaching physics?
Thank you very much, sir. He's very correct.
I studied physics now, but there's no opportunity to teach.
So,
go to teachers.
People like people doing mass comm, biz admin. Like how can we encourage them? Because he's right. Technology is the future.
Yes. Well, for those that are just coming in, it is a veritable platform to encourage our young ones to please.
I'm going to say
yes. And for our teachers in schools, because he was talking about not having enough science teachers in schools. What we do by the time we want to do recruitment is to do needs assessment and see how many of English teachers, how many of science teachers that we have. And ongoing now is the process of selecting another round of 1,000 teachers, an approval that has been given by His Excellency the Governor for us to employ another 1,000. And so the process is ongoing. We know how many we will require of science, how many we will require of English, how many we will require of mathematics. And so it's in the line that we're trying as much as possible to inject new science teachers into
Chima. Let me hang in there. Let me take this call from Yemi from Ikeja. Are you still there?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Good morning, the Deputy Governor.
Good morning.
I just want to react to what did the Deputy Governor say the other time about salary, saying that everybody in Lagos State Civil Service are placed on the same salary scale. I don't think it is fair to the teachers to be earning the same thing with those people in the ministry. We all know how they work in the ministry. Teachers deserve better. If lecturers in the university have their salary scale, those in polytechnic have, separate salary scale. Teachers in primary and secondary school too should have their own separate salary scale. They work a lot. I'm sure the Deputy Governor, knows because she's a teacher. The right lesson note, teach,
I want to build on what Yemi
I have a
said.
question on
Sorry,
Twitter,
I wanted
please.
to build on what Yemi said because that's the question I wanted to ask. You see, when you graduate, for instance, from the university with the first class, the university, they are on your neck to retain you as a lecturer. They always look out for the best to retain them. Now, if I am a fresh graduate and I'm graduating with the first class, and you say, come and teach, because the man that called, he said that they don't have quality science teachers, you know. So if you say that I need to come and teach in secondary school, and for instance, an oil and gas company is offering me something, don't you think we need to, it has to go back to that regime?
But answer that, just motivation. Is it passion or is it money?
I can be passionate, but Muriel, the reality is that I need to sleep somewhere, I need to move, I need to feed. You know, passion cannot cover the basic amenities. So if for instance, you give perks like housing for teachers, free housing or something that would attract them, I'm sure that we can attract the quality minds to be able to impact this knowledge.
Valid. For that point.
I sincerely appreciate the passion with which you are. I mean, you're expressing yourself.
Because she wants to be a teacher.
She feels to be one. She just said she read physics.
Yes,
and instead of her being in the classroom, she opted. She's opted.
She's here on your view, shouting.
Yes. Oh. Now back to our question.
Yes.
I know, and generally every one of us, I mean, you all agree with me that yes, the salary that everybody is, I mean, that we pay in the public sector, generally we need to take it on. But again, when you look at it, when you're talking of us increasing salary at this time, I'm sure you will thank Lagos State government for even being able to pay consistently without default. And again, where in some states they can't even pay them, we are engaging teachers. We are bringing in another round of 1,000 teachers now. So for us, I must say, yes, we need to. The structure to take care of them, providing other alternatives for them, is something that we will continue to towards. But increasing salary at this time, I need a bailout.
Excuse me, ma'am, please. Excuse me, I want to just say something. Because everybody is attacking Lagos State. It's fine. Private schools, gone. They don't pay their teachers well.
Let's leave that one. Let's say some tweets.
Private, look, in my
she's a public servant.
Teachers will be asking me, please, for Egunje. What are you saying?
So, Chimaobi is asking something attached to that. I said, please help me ask your guest, what are they putting in place to checkmate the quality of teachers they employ in private school? Are you supervised? I know they supervise, they approve, but are they checkmating the quality of teachers private schools are using in the school?
Well, I must say, it's still a long journey because I like to be factual. For us, it's still work in progress. We're trying, a while ago, I was talking somewhere about us coming very hard on the private schools. For us as an enabler and just ensuring that things are done properly, we are going out all the time, looking at what they have, how they are employing. But you know, Nigerians, we like cutting corners. They will show us one thing today, and by the time our people go back there tomorrow, they are doing another thing. But like I said, we'll continue to work hard, just to ensure that we're able to bring them back on track. We are not.
We're not there yet. We have to go, unfortunately. But I wanted you to touch very quickly on what YK used to introduce the show concerning religion in schools, which is really key. She was saying that there's some schools where maybe neutral school, for example, where with the imposing religion. I know Oshun State had that issue. What's your take generally on religion across the world? Do we have the Muslim schools, Christians, or do we just accept all religions in schools? What's Lagos State's position on those religious issues?
For us in Lagos State, all the children are our own children. Whatever religion you profess, you are free to profess whatever religion you so choose to do. As for bringing religion into schools, well, it's so clear to us that the period of engagement for us is between 8 and 2 o'clock. And while you are in school, you are expected to comport yourself. You are not to. Recently, the Muslim Student Society got an injunction that when hijab. For us, the idea is when you're coming to school. The instruction generally is for you that whatever you practice, whatever neutrality is what we preach in school. And again, if you are coming with your hijab to school, not when you are putting on the, I mean,
uniform. You get to the gate.
When you get to the gate, you can remove it. When you're going back home, you can put it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma. I really appreciate that.
We have to close, unfortunately.
Neutrality is very important.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. We really appreciate you coming here. Once again, celebration to the teachers. Last words to your teachers, man. Let's give them a few seconds. Go ahead, Ma. Once again.
My dearest teachers, thank you so much for being there for us. Thank you for being part of this development, part of this success that we're witnessing in education today. I thank you, I salute you, and I wish you the best of today. Fantastic. Please enjoy yourselves.
Woo! Nice. Thank you. That's all we can take on the show. Lovely day. Bye-bye.